We'll just give folks a few more minutes to join. Looking good, everyone.
Everything should be on mute.
Sorry, Paula, what was that?
No, I was just making sure my phone was on mute. Do I have the spotlight on moms? No?
No,
I don't
Bandit,
think so.
we have everybody. Thank you. Just the speakers.
It looks like I'm joining with the moms.
No, just the speakers, just the panel speakers. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Sam, did you paint your plates? The background looks different.
No, guys, I'm in the library in one of the meeting rooms because whenever I do stuff like this, I like having the absolute quiet because I don't want any hiccups. And I like having the clean background. So I'm like catty cornered in this meeting room that has a bunch of desks. But I saw that the wall behind me is blue. So I'm like, let me get my wheelchair in here and just, do it from here.
Nice. Very creative.
Mm-hmm.
I like the blue background. Cool.
Mhm.
Mark McGuire is here. Hello, hello.
Hey, Mark. Hey,
Hello.
Mark.
Yay.
Thanks.
Always love
joining.
friends of the accidental ally when they join. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
As always, the moms were the first to arrive.
sweet.
Veronica, where's your mom? Tell her to join. We need her on Zoom.
Yeah.
If she joins, then I get nervous. So for this panel, she has not joined.
Okay. Nice. Love it. Let me see the gallery view. Who else is here?
He's here.
Mama Jean looking sharp. I love the green.
Yeah, green. With me.
You too, Bandit. I love that green on you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good green.
Thanks, Mark.
Nice.
Dream Team Rock.
Hi, Vicky. Hi, Leonie. Hi, Lillian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Just give another minute or so for people to join and we'll get started.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
It's the quiet before the storm.
I know. Everyone's thinking, planning.
No storm, no storm.
No storm.
Oh.
Maria, you're talking into a muted line.
I was just saying, just a deep breath and then plunge in.
Yeah,
Right? Exactly.
love it.
When you tilt in, Muff, you kind of cut off your face. There you go. You're good. You're good. There you go. How are you adjusting to the hair, Muff?
She looks
I think
great.
it looks great.
I mean, I feel like I look good. I just need more product now, but it's good. Like I feel pretty, you know me.
So So Maria is not one to make changes easily, right? And so a couple of years ago, we went on an adventure to get Maria's hair permed for the first time. And it was a bit tricky, but I think the result was she realized she loved something new and different, and it's back now. So I'm excited.
Looks good.
It really does.
Thank you.
It's funny
Right.
though.
You guys look like the same person, one one with the curly hair and one with straight hair. So now you can see the reference points if you want to change your hair.
Yeah.
Love it. Looks really good. All right, it's 12:02. Shall we get started, ladies?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me change it to speaker view.
Going back on mute.
No, you don't have to, I don't think.
Rohan, are you good with Zoom management? Adding
Yes.
people in?
Yes.
Okay. We have, I think we're going to just keep having people join us throughout this session. So we should be okay with that. So Bandit, you're in charge of adding people to the call, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get started, ladies. Everybody take a deep breath. We're going to be great. Or maybe we do one of Sabrina's yawn stretches. Sabrina, lead us through a yawn stretch. Oh, wow, that felt good. Sabrina is always leads us through really big yawns and really big stretches. That was good. Thank you. So everyone, welcome to the Accidental Ally. This is a very exciting day for me because I get to hang out with these awesome people. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today, moms, family members, friends, friends of friends. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. I am excited for a couple of reasons. I have been working with this incredible panel of women for the last few weeks, and I've gotten to know them really well. And I think what's awesome about this group is that we are all friends, and we had a really good time working on this panel, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The topic, we all came up with this topic, and the topic for today is the future we want to create, a future that is accessible. So I want to really get into this conversation. I'm excited to have this team here. And also today is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, March 1st. And all these amazing women are women with cerebral palsy, and they are excited to share their stories and their experiences with us today. So let me start with a round of introductions. I'll kick this off. I'm Gayatri. I'm the founder of the Accidental Ally. We believe in a digital world that is accessible to everyone, regardless of their abilities. Our mission is to stimulate and harness the creative capacities of people with cognitive and intellectual disabilities so that they can actively contribute to digital innovation. We want to create engaging and enriching work experiences that will fuel the well-being and financial prosperity of people with cognitive and intellectual disabilities. If you're interested in learning more about our work, I would encourage you to give our manifesto a read, and it is available on my LinkedIn profile or on our website, theaccidentalally.com. So I would like to call on Maria to kick off introductions. So Maria, tell us a little bit about you, but with a twist. What is the one thing that not many people know about you? So first tell us who you are, and then tell us one thing that not many people know about you.
Good to meet you, everyone. My name is Maria Blanco. I am Paola's twin sister, as you can probably tell from the resemblance. Something that a lot of people don't know about me is that I like to craft. I like to do handmade greeting cards, and I do approximately one for everyone I know each December.
Great.
That's my hobby.
Well, thank you for being here.
Mhm.
You're
Rojin,
welcome. It's a pleasure.
thank you.
Hi, my name is Routine. I am part of the Accidental Ally. And the one thing that nobody knows about me that I run I walked the Miami Marathon 2019. I didn't do the full run, but I walked 3 miles, and that was so much fun.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Veronica?
Hello, everybody. My name is Veronica, and what is one thing that not thing only a few people know about me is that I have had a lot of surgeries. So for my feet, because feet fuse, so they go up and down and not side to side.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Sabrina?
You're welcome.
My name is Sabrina London, and I'm excited to be here.
What is the one thing not many people know about you, Sabrina?
One thing that people don't know about me is I am very smart. I do great with technology. I have been using technology since I was in preschool. I am also a social butterfly.
We can all attest to that, every single statement.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Bree. Sam?
Yes, I'm Samantha Lebron. I'm a disability advocate. So I was Miss Wheelchair Florida 2020, and I'm really into adaptive sports. I'm also on the USA Paralympic table tennis team. And something that people don't know about me, except for Paula and Maria, since I've known them for half my life, is that I like to write stories. So I was an avid reader growing up. And once I got a little older, I found something called fanfic. I feel like I have to whisper it now because it was something for nerds back then, but that really got me into writing. So I would write about my favorite characters from TV shows or movies, but sometimes I would write stories about my friends and we would go on adventures. I remember one time I wrote a story about me and Pal and how we were secret spy agents. I don't know if you remember that.
I think that one needs to be published.
She would hate that because she had to climb through a window and do all these crazy acrobatics. But as I got older, my stories got more elaborate and my characters got more complex. So now it's like delving into like their psyches and finding out, why they make the decisions they make and the intricacies of all their relationships with the other characters. So that's where my writing is now, but not a lot of people know that about me.
Okay. Pow bow. Let's go.
So hi, everyone. My name is Paula Blanco. I am a web designer and social media manager. My background is Hispanic. I have glasses and I have shoulder length brown hair. And one thing that people don't know about me is that starting high school, I had an alter ego, and it came about because my mom gave me this onyx ring when I was first starting high school. And she said, this is a new opportunity for you, an opportunity to kind of reinvent yourself and take chances and see what is out there. So I kind of took it to the next level, and any time that I wanted to be adventurous or take a risk or be spontaneous, I would think of that ring, that onyx ring, and kind of try to incorporate it into my personality. So that's how onyx came to be. And sometimes she does make an appearance. But
awesome. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Paula, for the introduction. I just want to say that this is an accessible event. We have the live transcript feature on. Mark, I know that, we don't have ASL interpretation here, but I'm hoping that the the captions are of help. We will also provide a recording of this event after we are done today, and make sure that the transcript is also available. So I hope that works for everyone. I'd like to get into the discussion and get to know these women a little bit better. But before we go there, just a quick check, and we'll do this again at the end. But if there was one word to describe how you're feeling right now, I'd like to ask the panelists to just tell me what that word is, and all the participants to just put it in the chat. Let's go. Paula, you go first.
I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Veronica. You don't have a word. Okay. Maria.
Actually, I do have a word.
Okay, go for it, Veronica.
Go ahead, Maria.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Oh, sorry, that's 2 words.
That works. That works. Go for it, Veronica.
I'm excited to do this, and I'm not nervous.
Okay, Rojeen.
I feel great.
Okay, Sam.
I'm excited.
And Bree. What's your word, Bree? How are you feeling?
One word that describes how I'm feeling right now is included.
Oh, nice. I love that. And the word I'm feeling right now is grateful to be in this company and to be able to do this. So thank you. Let's jump right in. I'm going to start with Sam on this one. Sam, when people ask you, tell me about yourself, our usual default response is to say something about our work or where we live or something about our family. If I told you, you cannot say any of that. You cannot tell us where you live. We're not interested in your work. We're not interested in your family. How would you describe the real Sam?
The hardest question ever, right? But I would describe myself as, at one time, I thought I wasn't creative at all. And now I just feel like I'm bursting with creativity to the point that whenever I come up with a new idea or project, I sometimes get hyper focused in that. But, I also like to think of myself as a music enthusiast. But do not ask me what my favorite song is or what my favorite genre of music is, because it changes multiple times daily. Paula can attest to this. And I would just tell people, you want to take a deep dive into my head, just go to my Spotify playlist, because I consider music like my mood ring.
Nice. All right. You did well. That's good. Rojeen, who is the real you?
To describe the real me, I will say that I'm shy, but once I get to know you, I can be very outgoing. I love to have fun. I am a fighter. I am resilient, and I do not say, and I don't think I can't. I am always willing to try. I am very hardworking and very helpful, and I don't know when to say no.
Wow. Thank you, Rojeen.
Wow.
That's my girl. All right, Maria, who's the real you?
If I were to describe myself, I'd have to say I'm a two-headed coin. One side is very practical and focused, and the other side is very much a romantic and a dreamer.
Go ahead.
No,
That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you stopped in the middle of the sentence. No worries. Veronica.
I'm Veronica, and I like to color and draw and make cards. I am kind and helpful, and that's it.
Okay. Bree, who is the real you?
I'm a kind-hearted person, and I never give up. I am outgoing. I love meeting people.
And you're very chatty. Yeah. We love that about you. All right, Paula.
So I am an optimistic adventurer. I'm a planner. I love to dream big. I'm not very assertive, and even though I'm really goal oriented, sometimes it can be tricky for me to stay on task if I don't have structure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now that we've learned a little bit more about you guys, I'd like to start with, actually, there was a question that I wanted to ask at the beginning of this that I totally skipped over. I wanted to ask Rojin a question. This was your idea. You wanted to do a panel discussion to celebrate cerebral palsy awareness. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you wanted to bring this group of women together?
So basically, this is my first time
Celebrating
CP Awareness Month.
Mhm.
I never did before because I didn't feel comfortable in my skin. But that has changed. I am feeling more comfortable accepting who I am. So I want to bring awareness about CP so people can see what we are capable of doing. We always talk about the negative, but this time I want us to focus on the positive. So I want the conversation to be positive.
Love it. And that's what we're here to do. So Maria, I want to start with you. Thank you, Rojin, for sharing that. And I'm so glad that you took the initiative to do this, and I was happy to be able to help you with this. Maria, I want to start us with the next round of questions. What have you learned from the high and the low point in your life?
Okay. My high point was graduating college. It took a lot of work and it was a struggle. But what I learned from that was that your perspective changes. When I originally graduated from college, I felt that that was the zenith, the highest point in my life, and it couldn't go any higher. As time goes on, I now see, my perspective has changed a little bit, and, what you go through ultimately changes you. And for my low point, I simply learned I'm a lot stronger than I think I am.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I want to come to Veronica with the same question. Veronica, what have you learned from the high and the low point in your life?
The low point in my life was losing my best friend in 2017. I learned to say I love you more and to meet new friends. The highest point in my life was when my best friend started school in 2019, and I learned to be kind to the people in my life. Thank you.
Thank you. Bree, tell us about your high point and low point and what you learned from it.
My high point of my life is when I went to Marina campus to learn more about technology. The low point of my life was high school because my teachers and peers didn't understand my disability.
Yeah, I can see how that can be hard. Thank you for sharing that. Sam?
For me, my low point was, becoming a full-time military user, but it's also become my high, and I'll explain. So cerebral palsy essentially forced me to adapt to the world around me from day one. So I always attributed myself to be able to adapt to anything and everything. But 3 years ago, I went to sleep one night and woke up and everything changed. Long story short, something unknown was attacking my nerves and spine. And the doctors ended up telling me that if I wasn't a full-time wheelchair user going forward and I fell, I would become a quadriplegic. So instead of seeing the chair as a negative, I wanted to see it as a positive. So for me, my chair is absolute freedom. So yeah, I went from living independently and having a full-time job, now I have caregivers 7 days a week, but I'm doing more than ever than I was before. You know, I have a full-time job. I have all these advocacy networks and all these new friends. So to sum it up, you know, the low taught me how to truly adapt, and my high taught me to be open to anything and everything, because you never know where the journey is going to lead you. And I just want to say that me 3 years ago wouldn't even dream half of the stuff that I'm doing now.
Mhm. What an incredible story, Sam. And kudos to you for powering through that experience, because I think there's so much we can learn from that. And so glad that you're talking about it through your advocacy work. Really appreciate the work you do.
Mhm.
Paula, what have you learned from your high point and low point?
Okay, so my high point was actually just after the pandemic started. I was closing on my condo and I was really excited and really proud. It was a big moment for me to say that I could own my own home and I didn't have a mortgage as a 33-year-old. And that's exciting, mostly because as a younger child, we moved around a lot. And so I really craved that stability, that home base, that place that was truly my own and, you know, that I could count on, right? But my high point would not have been possible without my low point. And that was about 5 years ago. I lost a significant other. And it was someone that I was living with and that I had plans to get married to. And unfortunately, he became very ill very suddenly, and you know, was very sick for a few months before passing away. But he had an amazing kind heart and a lot of foresight, and so in planning, he made sure that I would be taken care of, and gave me access to a life insurance policy. So with that money, I was able to go to Paris and I was able to buy my home. And really what that taught me is that life is cyclical, you know, it's circular. Nothing is 100% good, nothing is 100% bad. I wouldn't trade where I am now for the world. I'm very happy, I'm very fulfilled. I have friends, I have an awesome boyfriend, I love my family. But it really taught me to change perspective, because when I was younger, you know, it was very clear cut, it was very black and white. This is positive, this is negative, this is good, this is bad. And now, instead of seeing things in black and white, I realize that everything is kind of in shades of gray, and there's good and bad, and you can learn from either or.
Yeah. Thank you, Paula. That's a great way to look at life. Rojin.
So I will start with one of my low points. In 2019, when I was in school, I was lost. I was down and not sure what direction I was going. I felt that I was in a box. I felt at times invisible and was not connecting with my peers. Basically, I felt like a loner. That was a low point, but 2020 came and the pandemic came, and I was able to go to meetups when everything was under lockdown. I met people. I was able to identify with people in the tech world. I get to meet so many people. I was able to connect to different groups. And this is how I met the Accidental Ally. That helped me on my journey of finding myself and my purpose. I have since done 3 panels, and now this is my 4th one. I did a paid internship through the Accidental Ally. Thank you, God. I learned from my highs to not to give up. Keep going at it.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much. Wow. And thank you for finding me, Rogine. I think you are one of the first ones to help us kick off the work we're doing today. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm trying not to get emotional here. Okay, let's move into a little bit of a serious topic here, right? We all believe that disability is never the problem. The environment is. So what are some barriers that you've had to overcome? I'm going to start this off with you, Sam.
For me, my two hugest barriers has always been transportation for people with disabilities and other employers seeing that people with disabilities are employable. You know, transportation, you know, depending on the area and the country, they have their restrictions. Some services run 24/7, which I think all services should. And some don't even run through the entire county that they reside in. And as for employers, you know, the way I would think about it like this would be, you know, those questionnaires that you get when you have to fill out an application for work and they ask you, hey, are you a creative person? Are you a problem solver? You know, can you adapt to any situation? I mean, I would tell an employer, hey, if you're looking for someone who is a problem solver, who can adapt to anything, then you got the biggest group right in front of you. People with disabilities are the problem solvers. You know, would you rather have some employee that you have to teach those skills to, or would you rather have someone who has those skills and knows how to implement them in everything that they do naturally? Right. Is what I tell them. But, you know, I'm only one voice, so I need a rally behind me on that.
Oh, you're not only one voice. There's all of us right here, right? And we're saying the same thing. You articulated it really well. I do think that employers can do a better job of recruiting people with disabilities and specifically people with cognitive intellectual disabilities, right? And that's the work that we are doing at the Accidental Ally is dedicated to that. So Rogine, what can you share in terms of the barriers, some of the big barriers that you've had to overcome?
So some of the biggest barriers that I had to overcome was feeling that I was invisible, where people will not speak directly to me as if I was that person. For example, I will be at a doctor's office and instead of speaking to me and asking me questions about me, they would ask my mother instead. Because I am disabled, they automatically believe that I am not able to speak for myself. So I have to stop them by saying, hello, I am right here. This sometimes hurts my feelings. So to overcome this, I am trying to speak up more and let them know that I can speak. I don't think they meant to hurt me. They just not aware of it.
Yeah, no, I love that you said that. And I think always being the first person to say hello sometimes also helps, right? A lot of times and I know this was true of me also before I started working on web accessibility is I was very awkward around a friend of mine who was blind. And, you know, I didn't know, should I grab her hand? Should I, you know, what was the right way to behave? And she was very kind enough to actually sit me down and say, hey, you know, this is not rocket science. You know, there's a few things you can do, you know, ask me if you want me to help, you know, if I needed help and so on. So there's a lot of stuff I learned from her. Sam, I want to come back to you and clarify one thing. As Rogine said, right, like one of the biggest barriers is people not talking directly to people with disabilities and talking to the caregiver or speaking to a parent or a family member, right? And she's addressed it in her way by saying, hey, talk to me directly. It hurts my feelings when you don't talk to me. I can speak too. That's her strategy of dealing with that. In your examples that you gave in terms of employers really not seeing people with disabilities as the most adaptable, talent pool that's out there. What could be, and I'm not going into the transportation issue just yet, because that could be a whole other separate discussion on it.
I was about to say that.
But with regard to employment, what are some things you would tell employers, right, that they should do differently? Do you have any suggestions? One or two things, maybe?
Yeah, one is don't be afraid of accommodations. Most employers think that, making their environment accessible or giving an employee accommodations is an expensive price tag. And it actually really isn't. It could be as simple as, let's say for me, I worked at a call center. All I needed was a desk at the end of the row so I could access the aisle if I needed to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that, your doors have automatic switches if you have a wheelchair user, and if they don't, there's technology to make a door automatic. So there's a lot of different ways that they can go about it. But I think for employers, it's not a matter of, oh, we don't want to do it. We just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so how do we address that? Like, how do we overcome that?
I would just be in interviews. I'm very forthcoming. So I know for some, they're very skittish, they don't even want to disclose that they have a disability. But for me, my disability is physical. You can see it. So I'm one that likes to read body language and all that. So if I see the uneasiness of an employer, I'll gently ease that into the conversation. Like, hey, I may need accommodations, but they're not as big and major as you think they are. So my advice would just be, be honest. And if it's something that they're not willing to do and it's just a hard stop, then you have to sit there and decide, hey, is this an employer that I want to be working for?
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Bree, I want to come to you next. What are some barriers that you've had to overcome?
Some big barriers that I have to overcome was when I was in elementary and high school. I was excluded from a play in elementary school because my teacher said that I don't speak. In high school, I was not allowed to drive my power wheelchair because the hallways were too crowded. My elementary school problem was solved when the teachers were sent to learn about augmentative communication devices.
That's good. And I think this goes back to what Sam was saying. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
My high school problem was solved when I was allowed to leave my classes 5 minutes early.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Bree. And I think this goes back to the same thing I think Sam was talking about, and also what Rogine was talking about, right? It's not necessarily that people don't care or don't want to do the right thing. So in most cases, at least in the ones that I've come across, is most of the times people don't know what to do, right? And when the education happens and the awareness happens, then the change happens, right? Do we all agree? Would that be true? Bree, do you think that things changed for you when there was awareness?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Bree. Thank you so much. Paula, I'm coming to you next. What are some big barriers that you've had to overcome?
So for me, the largest barrier has been, a combination of things. When I was in school and even throughout college, there was greater access or an understanding of the resources that were available to me as a person with a disability. But once I transitioned out of that space and became a young adult and wanted to accomplish things like, go to my first job or get my first apartment, I really felt that there weren't really places that could direct you effectively. You knew of some things and they were kind of obscure and very difficult to get to, and you didn't really have a a first person view of this is how you go about doing, this everyday tasks. And so one of the ways that I overcame it was I started collecting resources, first through Pinterest and then through How Accessible, which is a blog that I maintain. And it just offers tips and tricks for different people who are looking for resources. And I took it a step further, and reconnected with other people with disabilities. Sam has a lot more knowledge of different programs and things that are available specifically for ADLs, which are activities of daily living, which as an independent person with a disability, it's counterintuitive, right? If you're independent, you want everything done on your own, but really, those resources help you have access to so much more physical energy and mental energy. So I think it would be really important to get a greater understanding of what is available. And then, in a dream world, have sort of a hub. Hey, if you're looking to get, your own housing, or if you're looking to find an awesome job, or if you're looking to get personal care, this is the way to do it, depending on your situation. That would be.
And I think this is a very common problem across all the families, right? Where access to caregivers is so hard and you're not really sure what resources are available. And it's a big struggle to find good, reliable care. So if you, I really hope that maybe this is a session we do as a follow-up where we talk about really what resources are available out there. How can you tap into those resources? How can you connect with people like Sam who have that knowledge, right? Things like that, I think would be interesting. So thank you for sharing that. Veronica, what has been a big barrier for you that you've overcome?
People looking at me and judging me without listening to what I'm saying. For example, I had to cast on my feet for 8 weeks, so that placement person for high school didn't want to put me where I wanted to go because she said I needed too much medically. But I told her that this was temporary, but she didn't believe me. I showed her it was when I walked into the final meeting, and she then saw it was.
So you walked into the final meeting and you said, I'm going. I don't care.
And I can walk.
And you can't. You said that. I would have loved to be in that meeting just to watch you do that. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Maria, what about you?
Welcome.
What I consider as one of my biggest struggles to overcome has been the fact that for most people, they don't take it as a given that I'm as mentally competent as anyone else. So what I've done is I've used the academics to sort of show I can do, I'm at the level mentally as everyone else is, and I can cope with stuff. But along with that, I've also had to learn to take a breath and sort of learn to do things my way, whether that means a little more time in between tasks, chopping them up into like a smaller list of things to do kind of thing, and to be okay with that, to be okay with doing things a little differently.
Yeah.
And I think if I can add to that, both Veronica and Maria touched on this in a different way, that needing medical assistance or needing physical assistance does not mean that you are unprepared or unable to deal with, cognitive challenges or just the tasks that, where most of us have functions and talents and interests and that far exceed any medical issue, permanent or temporary that we are presented.
Yeah. Totally agree. So I want to start this question off. We have a couple more questions, and I want to ask the audience to prepare their questions because you're going to get a chance to talk directly to our panelists. So have your questions ready or put them in the chat. But I want to start with Bree on this one. Bree, if you had a magic wand, what would you do with those special powers? We're not able to hear. Try
If I had a wand, I would get people to go to augmentative communication device training so they know how they work. And also I would hire personal support workers to come work for me.
Yeah. Nice. I think we can make that happen right away. Rojin, what about you?
If I had magic wand, I would point the wand to the person and make sure they come straight to me and talk to me except my mother. Yes. So that's what I would.
Hopefully just use the magic and not hit them on the head with the stick.
No.
I love it. Nice one. Okay, Sam, what about you?
For me, if I had a magic wand, I would just want everybody, like with a person that has a disability, to be fully accepted in their communities without there being a special rule or law in place in order to do so.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. Paula.
If I had a magic wand, I would make all buildings ADA accessible, universally designed. So it would be a given.
Nice. That would be nice. Veronica, what would you do with a magic wand?
I would change the voice on the AC device, and so it wouldn't sound like a computer, so it would sound more like the person than a machine.
Wow, I love that.
Also, I would like for the world to be more accessible without so much fighting for it.
I love them both. Bree, what do you like of this idea that the AAC device that you use actually sounds like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Hopefully we don't need a magic wand for that. It'll happen soon. Maria, what about you?
I would just make it so that I would have robots in my house that would help me with daily life skills, like transferring and self-care, and in that way gain independence.
So what I love about all your answers are, yes, these are things that you said you would do if you had a magic wand, but I think that they're all doable even without one. I think we can make it happen with human power. What do you guys say? Yeah?
Yeah.
We could try, yeah.
A little magic, the little magic of human power. How's that? Okay, so I have a couple more questions, and I wanna make sure the audience has a chance to also interact with you guys. I want to reflect back on my conversation with Rojin on this, because when we first started talking about doing the panel, I have seen so many panels. I've moderated a ton of panels, and a panel with people with disabilities generally tends to focus on challenges and barriers and what the world doesn't see. And so I wanted to understand from Rojin, like, what is it that she wanted out of this panel? And she said, I don't want to feel sorry for myself because I feel that I have a lot to bring to the table. And I want this conversation to be uplifting. I want it to be about dreams and aspirations and about the future. And so my question is based on that. And I'm going to start with you, Rojin, because this is your baby and you brought this to life. And I'm so glad that you came up with this idea. So the question is, what is your dream or aspiration that you want to achieve in 2022? And how can we help you?
my dream and aspiration for 2022 is to be more vocal, and I will speak up more for myself and others. I would also like to shed more light on disability on social media and maybe do a podcast to bring more awareness on accessibility and inclusion, and just basically just spread the word, just it may help uplift somebody. We can do what you guys can do, but in a special way. So yeah.
Thank you. And what can we do to help you?
Keep on pushing me and get out of my box. Keep me going. Make sure I'm still doing what I'm doing now. Try to inspire people or motivate people.
Oh, you can expect all of us to do that because we're all bossy ladies right here. All right. Bossy means leadership, right?
Yes.
Okay, Bree, what's your dream and aspiration for this year, and how can we help you?
My dream for 2022 is getting certified in CPAC and going to accessibility conferences to learn more about accessibility. I would like to become an advocate for people who use technology. I also want to teach educators how to approach people with disabilities.
Bree, I could just sit here and just sit here and watch you smile year to year when you're talking. So CPAC, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's Certified Professional in Accessibility Core Competencies. It is a certification program that only a few people in the world have, and Bree, among some of her colleagues, are working towards getting certified. So yay. And we are here to support you in that journey, Bree. Awesome. Sam, what is your dream or aspiration for this year? How can we help you?
Okay, so my dream and aspiration for 2022 is I want to find some way to acquire the first wheelchair accessible SUV by Chevy that has the collaboration with Braun Ability and Mobility Works.
Okay.
That way I can keep advocating for my community beyond where just I live.
Okay.
Because I want to go back to practicing with the USA team. That way I can travel the world and bring advocacy worldwide.
Okay. So how many people do you need tweeting Chevy? What do we need to tweet?
I would say tweet to Chevy that they need to create scholarships for wheelchair users to acquire these vehicles, because I know with some manufacturers, they give like $1,000, credit towards something. That's not enough because these vehicles cost like $70,000, $80,000 once they're converted.
Right.
So,
and I think that should apply to all car manufacturers, right? I mean, look at what's happening in the car industry today, right? You're driving computers all over town, right? You're no longer filling gas in your cars anymore, right? I mean, you can get a software update and literally have a new car the next day. So why can't we use that technology to benefit people with disabilities? And Maria's asked around robotics. I mean, robotics has been around for decades, but it hasn't been adapted to, not as much as we would like to, right? Having robotic assistants in your house to help you with your day-to-day activities. Now that's an idea, right? And it's coming from the person who actually feels that pain point. So I love the optimism, and we are happy to help you tweet, email, rally in any way. Thank you. Paula, what is your dream or aspiration for 2022, and how can we help you?
So my dream and aspiration for this year is really to continue to work on my independence and my life balance. And what that means for me is continuing the work that I'm doing with the Accidental Ally, both in the advocacy realm, which I love and I'm passionate about, and I wake up and I'm excited every day, in the certification to help my business in motivating me to see the potential that there is, instead of, being hyper focused on this one lane, really realizing that there are several paths and opportunities out there for me. So what I really want to accomplish is to kind of grow into Onyx a little bit more, and feel like I can, educate, empower others, and be strong, on my own, be independent.
Awesome. And we're here to help you with that. Keep pushing you, Paula. All right, Veronica. Just what happens when you hang out with a bunch of bossy women? Sorry. Veronica, what's your dream aspiration for this year? How can we help you?
To do a good internship this summer with the Accidental Ally.
You're signed up already.
I know.
She's waiting for it.
That was easy. I can help you. All right, Maria.
My dream for 2022 is to continue my work with the public library. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently a secretary of the Friends of the Library group. It's a group that helps with fundraising for activities at your public library, or at least here in Broward and here in Florida, I should say. And I work with them as their secretary at my local branch. So I hope to expand on that.
And you will. Awesome. So I would like, with the few minutes we have left, I'd love to engage the audience. You guys have been wonderful listeners. If anyone has a question, just go ahead, unmute yourself and ask the question. I'm gonna move to gallery mode here so we can see the beautiful faces. Does anyone have a question or a comment? Please encourage our panelists here today. I want to send a quick shout out to Rohan. Rohan is an intern on the team, has been doing a wonderful job of managing Zoom. So thank you. Thank you so much, Rohan. I don't know what we would do without you. So questions from the audience. Anyone?
Hi, my name is June Simpson, and I know Regine really well. We go to the same church. And I'm really happy that I got a chance to, I didn't get to log on from the start, but I'm very happy that I got a chance to log on. I am so proud of every single person, including my Regine, that's in this panel. And I'm so happy that I got to join, because I've learned so much more. And I have so much more respect for every single one of you. And for me, it's just listening is going to also help me that, as I said, if I see someone else with a similar issue, talk to them, don't talk to their parent or whatever, and just treat them as if how I would want to be treated. So thank you very much for this. It's been very, very helpful and inspirational. And I'm so, so proud and inspired by everyone who's on this panel. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone have any questions? Anyone else?
I see something on the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Natalie. I'll catch up on the chat question.
Okay, fabulous. This conversation has been extraordinary, and I really appreciate everybody taking the time. I find myself in the position of wanting to be a more inclusive, or hire people with different kinds of abilities than my own, and also make sure the team that I'm building is inclusive. In particular, I want to sort of encourage and build space on my team for designers, folks with a background or who are interested in expressing the view of design in the product lifecycle. And I just wanted to get your opinions about what companies and organizations and maybe people can do to make those avenues easier for you to, take part in. What kinds of jobs are interesting to you? What kinds of support? Like all of that.
thanks for being willing to consider my question.
Thank you so much. And let me just quickly set this up. So many of you don't know Natalie, but Natalie is an accessibility professional. She is a person who looks like looking for people on her team. She wants to hire people with disabilities. Natalie, I don't remember where you work exactly now. Where do you work?
I work at Spotify.
Everybody knows Spotify. We're big, huge Spotify fans. We're going to have a dance party this evening at 5 p.m. Pacific. Spotify is going to be running the dance party, just shameless plug out there. But I want the team to answer this question. But before I give it to the team, what I want to say to you is thank you, because we need more employers asking that question to say, how can we get more people with disabilities involved in the conversation, and by giving them opportunities to work, right, and participate. That's what the mission is of the Accidental Ally. We prepare people with disabilities for those kinds of jobs by really, harnessing the ability behind the disability, right? And it's always hidden. So I want the team to answer this question, and perhaps, does someone on the team want to take this one, because you guys can talk about your experience on the Accidental Ally and share like how are you preparing for the workforce? Go for it, Paula.
Sure. So one thing I would like employers to know is that, disability isn't a dirty word, and that in disclosing my needs, which could be physical or could be in terms of maybe for time or flexibility, please understand that as a professional, I want to be there. I want to give you my best work. And sometimes those accommodations are very, very small. I worked for a company right while I was actually in college still as a copywriter. And I got through because I had a reference, but they had a question about my ability, right, to handle the technology. It was in the art department. I was doing graphic design and copywriting. And really, the only accommodation that I needed was help setting up the huge tower of the computer, because they had machines that would run all the software, and I couldn't lift it and set it up on my own. And I used a microphone for dictation. And they actually, came to find out it's not that daunting. It's about really understanding the person on a one-to-one level. My needs are going to be different than someone else's needs, but ultimately I'm going to go above and beyond to get you what you want.
Anyone else from the team? Thank you, Paula. Rojeen, any perspective on how the Accidental Ally is preparing you for these jobs? And I think that Natalie had a really important question here, right? What she's asking, a lot of employers don't even take the time to ask, which is, what kinds of jobs do you want to do, right? What interests you? Is there something you want to add to that?
I agree with Paola. Just, it's not hard to ask. It's not hard. We're not asking for a lot. Like, we can ask you the simple things. It won't even cost you money. It's just that small thing we need. Just be patient with us. We take time to get the work done. Or sometimes my process is take a while to understand what I'm doing, or just give me step by step what you're looking for, because then I have a better understanding of the picture and what you are looking for. That's all I ask.
Yes, Sam, go ahead.
Just really quick, I would want to say to employers, you want your employees to be, accepting and open-minded, but we would like that from our employers as well. So really getting to know your employee and their interest, I think that's where you would really find, what jobs they like to do. Like for me, all my jobs now have been created by the employer. They weren't something that they already had in place. After having a discussion with me and finding out what I was interested in and what my skills were, they, discovered, hey, we can use you. We don't have this position, but we want to create one for you. So I would also tell employers to be open to that idea as well.
Yeah. All great comments. And I will add one more thing, Natalie. Thank you so much for asking this question. One last thing I will add is that most of the conversation around disability employment is around candidates with disabilities and jobs for people with disabilities. Nobody talks about training and preparation, right? When you look at training, it's not just training to do a specific job. It's also a lot of people with disabilities have never been in a work environment. So there's a lot of training and onboarding that needs to happen. So that's what, why we are excited about the work we're doing, is that we focus on nurturing the individual and not just like teaching them one or two skills so they can get a job, right? This is more than getting a job. It's about being included in the workforce, right? So, and that's where I feel a lot of the change needs to happen. Yeah, Bree wanted to add something. Go ahead, Bree. Looks like this is your question got everybody all fired up. Love it. Go ahead, Bree.
One thing I would like employees to know is that I am smart in technology and I'm a fast learner.
Yes, and I want to give an example here. Actually, thank you for reminding me, Bree. So Bree joined the Accidental Ally not more than 2 months ago. And last Friday, and Natalie, you will find this interesting. Last Friday, we did a session together as a team where we talked about accessibility checks and we learned how to do some quick checks on websites. We come back on Monday and Bree says, I have to share something with the team. And she shared with us a PowerPoint presentation she had put together with about 40, 50 slides. On every slide, she had put in examples of websites that she had tested with screenshots of issues that she found on different websites. She had tested about 40 different websites and about 5 or 6 different accessibility checks. And let me tell you, in the time I've spent on web accessibility, I have not seen any accessibility expert get to that level of detail. And this was just something she learned on Friday, and this was the output on Monday. So imagine what would happen if we spent more time putting her in the right places, giving her the right opportunity, right? The potential is there. I guess that's what the point is here. So let me take a couple more questions from the audience here. So it looks like there's a fun question here from Vicky. She says, if you could have any celebrity be your personal assistant for a week, who would you choose and why? And Bree has already answered. She has a really famous name on here. Bree, who's your celebrity that you would like? Wait, is this? So this celebrity will be your personal assistant for a week. Okay. Who would you choose, Bree?
Judy Human.
I don't know how Judy would feel about that. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else want to share?
So
go ahead, Pow, I guess.
Okay. So I said Anna Kendrick because I would love to have someone with such a comedic background kind of narrate what I go through every day and like the challenges that come up or people's impressions. I think that would be a hoot. And, I'd love the extra help too.
Okay, awesome. Sam?
Hugh Jackman. Anyone? Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Yeah.
You'll have to fight with me for Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Rojeen?
I would like having Karma because I feel like she's so knowledgeable and she has amazing resources.
Cool. Veronica, who's yours? I don't know who is Candace Buer? I don't know.
She is from Fuller House.
Oh, yes. Okay.
In Full House.
Gotcha. The actress. Yes. Maria?
I'd pick as an assistant, I would pick Ruth Bader Ginsburg because I'd love to pick her brain if she were still alive. As far as how to legally get, more accessibility on the books and how to get equality on the books. That's what I would love to have in a perfect world.
You missed the boat on that one by a few years. She would make a good assistant. But I think she would make you do a lot more work than you had anticipated, I guess. Wonderful. And there's one question here, and I think it's a great one to close on. I have one last thing before we talk about this question. It's from Mark. Hey, Mark, thank you so much for coming. Mark is asking, if you could build on today's event, what would you do next to keep the momentum going? And I love this question because it keeps us on our toes. So Paula, how can we keep the momentum going?
I was looking forward to answering this question. I saw it in the chat and I was super excited. So I would love to have sort of open discussions, giving us a deeper dive onto some of the challenges that we talked about. So a deep dive on transportation challenges and brainstorming what we could do to solve or to motivate people.
Yeah.
A deep dive on personal assistant challenges or independence resources. A deep dive on disability etiquette education, what we can, do and what things are really lacking. Also, I wanted to add to the last question about employers. I think it's really important that in addition to making sure that the position considers a candidate with disabilities, it's also important to consider the process right before you become an employee, the screening process, the application process. For a lot of virtual admin jobs that I've been applying for, there are significant technology barriers for assistive technology, right? Technology that I would use to be efficient and to be productive isn't allowed. Just because of the software or just because of how something is made. So make your application processes inclusive, make your onboarding inclusive.
So since these are all great ideas, I'm going to make you point person to decide what the next panel discussion is going to be and bring the panel together and make it happen. How does that sound, Rojeen?
Yes.
Passing the buck. Let's move it. Let's make it happen. Okay, so we have gone over by a few minutes and I'm glad that people are still holding on, which means that this is an interesting, engaging conversation. Again, Rojeen, thank you for your leadership, right? This is what stuff legends are made of. So thank you for taking the leadership, for bringing this panel together, for connecting us to all these wonderful women and all these amazing women, right? Paula, Maria, Sam, Bree, Veronica, Rojeen. I don't know what we would do without you guys. I mean, you're just such an incredible asset to our community and you're valuable contributors. I hope you can see that as much as we see the magic in you. I want to end and with this question, which is, what is that one word that would best describe how you feel now that we are at the end of this conversation? I already see hands up. So Rojeen, what is that one word that describes how you feel right now?
I feel conquered.
Conquered.
Like, I feel like I achieved something today.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? Maria?
Satisfaction.
Okay, that's a good one. Sam?
I still feel excited because, again, this discussion has spurred so many other side topics that the list could be ever growing. So I'm excited to see, what discussions happen in the future.
Yeah. Paula?
I feel really proud to be a part of this group and to have had the opportunity to be heard and to have all of you wonderful people supporting my dreams and ambitions.
Veronica?
I feel good. I feel like I conquered some of it. The questions.
You did a great job. You were feeling nervous at the beginning of the call. How does it feel now?
I feel good.
Awesome. So many more panels in your future now, Veronica.
No.
Yes, Bree.
One word that describes how I'm feeling right now is included.
Awesome. And I think for me, the word would be optimistic. We are optimistic about the future because we are partnering with these amazing, amazing people who not only are, have a very positive outlook of the future, but are willing to put in the work, willing to put in the time to make change happen, not just for themselves, but for everyone else around them. They're making the community better. And every single one of you, amazing women on this panel, are amazing trailblazers. So really, really appreciate you being here today. Thank you for this wonderful discussion. And thank you for, every audience member who took the time to be here to support people on the panel. And again, shout out to my one and only Rohan for being our amazing Zoom manager today and for helping us stay on top of this. So awesome, guys. Great job. I just want to quickly remind you, today at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern is the Cerebral Palsy Awareness Global Dance Party. So wear your best dancing clothes and shoes and be prepared to shake a leg, because the Accidental Ally team is absolutely nuts once the music starts. I mean, we don't know what to do with ourselves. So you guys just have to come and have a good time. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful day. We will be seeing you soon. Thank you, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. It was
Bye, Mark.
amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. This was lovely.
Bye,
Ro.
Bye, everyone. This was so much fun.
We did it, Roro.
Thank you.
Mama Jean, we did it.
Hey, I'm ready for the party.
Yeah. Hey, Nazima.
Oh, it's amazing. Kids are really, I mean, they're not kids, but they were really awesome.
Yeah, everyone did a great job.
Everyone did a great job. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. See you tonight at the dance party.
Okay. Bye.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.